Hello and welcome to Scholarvision. I'm Dr. Richard Becker, the director of the University of Cincinnati Heart, Lung, and Vascular Institute. Today I'm joined by two colleagues, Dr. Myron Gerson, a professor of medicine, and Dr. Patrick Daly, a former fellow in our cardiology fellowship program. We're going to be discussing a brand new technology known as AlterG that was developed by NASA and now is being tested for the first time here at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center to test patients with suspected coronary artery disease. Gentlemen, welcome to Scholarvision.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We're going to talk today about the AlterG, which is one of these space-age new technologies that I know there's a lot of excitement right now in the community and certainly on campus. So Dr. Gerson, can you tell us a little bit about what is it?
Well, the AlterG is an anti-gravity treadmill. It was developed originally by NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. What they've basically devised is a standard treadmill which has incorporated in it a balloon, a series of neoprene shorts that the patient can wear that then zip into the balloon. The balloon is then filled with air, and the pressure of the air lifts the patient up, essentially unweighting the patient or becoming an anti-gravity force. This technology was originally and is currently applied in the rehabilitation of patients with injuries, and particularly sports injuries. The concept of applying this as part of standard exercise testing for patients with suspected coronary artery disease was suggested by my colleague, Dr. Patrick Daly. We have followed through on incorporating that technology in research protocols in our laboratory.
It's fascinating, and Dr. Daly, I'm always intrigued by the mind of a scientist that kind of looks at things in a slightly different way. Dr. Gerson has articulated that this technology has been around. It's been used for people with sports-related injuries, orthopedic injuries. Tell us about the process of your posing that question, that hypothesis of testing it in the context of exercise stress testing.
During my training as a fellow here in cardiology at the University of Cincinnati, I had the opportunity to work closely with Dr. Gerson in the nuclear cardiology lab. And one of the things that struck me was that, in conventional stress testing, we have essentially two different mechanisms that a vast majority of the patients are used for their stress tests. It's either a conventional treadmill or a pharmacologic stress test if they're not able to either exercise or at least reach a target heart rate on the exercise treadmill. And it seemed to us that perhaps there's another way of enabling exercise. And we started and embarked on this journey with the idea of enabling exercise. And that's the fundamental basis for bringing the AlterG treadmill to University of Cincinnati for this purpose. And we had the experience in a physical therapy clinic of seeing the AlterG in action for physical therapy rehabilitation for musculoskeletal injury. And from that experience then took that back to the drawing board, came up with a plan of reaching out to AlterG, and fortunately they were supportive in allowing us to work this research protocol here at University of Cincinnati. And we have embarked on a phase 2 clinical trial to show that this device is in fact safe for cardiovascular patients. Up until this point it has not been tested in this population of intermediate risk patients for coronary artery disease.
Yes, it's fascinating, and in honesty, that's what an academic medical center is all about. It's asking those questions and advancing the field. And now you're certainly still in the early stages, but so far so good. Is that fair to say?
We certainly have seen a very favorable safety protocol. The patients have been able to exercise on the AlterG treadmill without any difficulty. The initial question was whether the patients would be able to comfortably get onto the AlterG, and that has not seemed to be a problem at all. So we're very encouraged.
That's fascinating. And I suspect for some people that maybe have not exercised for some time, that there's some uplifting moments for them to be able to do it as well.
That has definitely been the case.
Yes. So Dr. Daly, you've completed phase 2, and Dr. Gerson mentioned that the safety profile was certainly acceptable. So now you're in phase 3. So for our colleagues out in the community or here at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center, how can they get in touch with you if one of their patients wants to participate?
Right, so we're looking forward to the phase 3 enrollment that we expect to begin this fall once IRB approval and everything is obtained. And our colleagues and cardiologists can certainly consider referring patients into the cardiovascular exercise stress testing lab with the idea that their patients can be enrolled in this phase 3 trial and more likely get to a target heart rate with the anti-gravity treadmill and potentially not need the pharmacologic stress testing. And for the reasons we've mentioned, this ability to get a patient to target heart rate, determine their exercise capacity, hopefully in the phase 3 trial, we will help to prove the idea that there's potentially better image quality, less false positives, less downstream testing necessary when patients are able to get to target heart rate. And clinicians can contact the University of Cincinnati Cardiovascular Clinical Trials Office with a patient that may be interested at 513-558-CARD, C-A-R-D.
Fantastic, and I like the way you're approaching it. I think there's always a temptation with new technology to make assumptions that this is going to be safe, this is going to be effective. But you're taking a meticulous approach, you're testing the hypothesis, and if at the end you find that it's safe, that you get high quality images, then perhaps it'll be ready for use, but not until that time.
Correct.
Sounds like recruitment has gone well, that people that you've approached for the most part have said, yeah.
It really has. Patients are excited. In fact, what's been most remarkable is patients that are nervous, anxious about coming to a cardiovascular test in general, really turn around their entire demeanor after getting on the treadmill.
I think that's fascinating. I mean, I can just imagine if for whatever reason I wasn't able to exercise and all of a sudden this burden has been lifted. It's extraordinary.
Right,
so,
right.
And the fellows have been very supportive. They've worked hard to recruit patients.
Well,
done a great job.
This is wonderful, and I appreciate you taking some time out.
Absolutely.
And this is going to be great. So,
Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you very
my
much
pleasure.
for helping us. Yeah.
I'd like to thank Drs. Gerson and Daly for joining us today on Scholarvision. We've heard about a new technology known as the AlterG. It establishes weightlessness and therefore allows patients who otherwise would not be able to complete a standard exercise treadmill test and therefore gain important prognostic information. Until next time, keep asking questions. Inquiry is the true compass of scientific and medical advance.